Ever felt like projects stall because people aren't talking and the scoreboard is either missing or ignored? Today, I'll show you how two business operating systems, OS 7, Communication and Relationships, and OS 8, Accountability and Reflection, turn that mess into momentum. This is Phil Badura. Stick with me and you'll walk away with scripts, rhythms, and measures that you can install this week. A quick frame. Results are created when your identity and habits multiply. The formula, be times do equals have. Now, OS 7, Communications and Relationships, upgrades how you build trust and alignment. OS 8, Accountability and Reflection, upgrades how you keep score, learn, and improve. Together, they make performance predictable and culture healthy. Here's the game plan. Number 1, why OS 7 and OS 8 matter. Number 2, practical systems that you can install. Number 3, real examples from clients who've done it. And number 4, your first 7-day sprint. Let's get to work. OS 7 is the set of rhythms and scripts that keep your team aligned and your key relationships compounding. Every problem is a communication problem first. Fix the conversation and you unlock execution. So why it matters? Miscommunication equals rework, delays, and burnout. Strong internal communications accelerate projects. Strong external relationships open doors to talent, capital, and customers. So the core rhythms to have in place. Number 1 is weekly one-to-ones. The split should be 70% you listen, 30% you speak. The flow is identify the wins, then look for the roadblocks, agree the priorities, and lock in commitments. The question tree examples might be, what's the one thing blocking you? Or what support do you need from me? Team huddles should be 10 to 15 minutes daily. Yesterday's progress, today's focus and priorities, tomorrow's plan. Use the red, amber, green lights, or RAG, principle on the week's KPIs. The story framework for change. Use a simple hero's journey arc for pictures. Use the context, the challenge, the turning point, the proof, and then what the call to action was. So swap data dumps for narrative to secure buy-in from the team. Focus on the why. When the team understand the why, there will be more buy-in. The partnership map. Identify the top 5 strategic alliances for your business. Book quarterly value exchange sessions. Here's how we helped you win. Here's what we're building next, as examples. Some common failure patterns. Huddles drift into status theatre. Fix with strict time boxes and red, amber, green status or the RAG status. One-to-ones become therapy sessions. Fix with a firm agenda and clear commitments. And strategy decks with no story. Fix with the hero's journey plus 1 proof per claim. A client in the trades industry was increasingly being ticked off with delays in the progress of their projects. The impact was overruns on time allocation, too much rework, callbacks, role confusion, and late invoicing. These things led to poor communication, new project delays, and poor cash flow. When the client identified that poor communication between the team members and the clients was the root cause of these issues, they firstly implemented a daily huddle with the key team members present. The client implemented a weekly one-to-one with each project manager to focus on what needed to change in the workplace. The project managers in turn also committed to having one-to-one weekly meetings with their key team members. In addition, they also implemented a weekly planning scheduling meeting that took a closer look at what was needed to be done and by when, then documenting a plan that all team members had visibility on. The outcome was rework dropped to less than 1%, projects were completed on time and on budget, and customer satisfaction scores rose to greater than 97%. Operating System 8, Accountability and Reflection, turns the lights on. It's your feedback loop, clear goals, a visible scorecard, weekly reviews, and regular retrospectives. Accountability isn't a stick, it's a mirror. So, design a simple scorecard. Choose 5 to 7 KPIs total per team. Use with a mix of leading and lagging indicators. One owner per KPI. One name, not a committee. Map the weekly targets and the RAG status. Green equals at above, amber equals within 10%, and red equals action required. And then the say-do ratio. Track commitments made versus what was kept weekly. Some KPI examples in sales might be qualified meeting set, which is the lead, and then the conversion rate, which is the lag. In operations, on-time dispatch percent and rework tickets. And service might be first response time and then your customer satisfaction score. Install cadence. Weekly work in progress or planning or scheduling meetings, review the scorecard, remove roadblocks, assign next actions with owners and due dates. A monthly deep dive is the trends, the root cause, reset the priorities. And then a quarterly review, which could be a half day off-site, the wins, the lessons, the goals, including new goals, and resourcing. Meeting rules. Start with the scorecard, end with commitments. What's not on the scorecard won't be discussed for long. Run fast retros, or what I call postmortems. So the postmortem review. What did we aim to do? What happened? Why? What will we do next time? What do we need to change? Capture 3 actions and assign owners. That win-learn ritual. Begin each postmortem with 1 win per person to prime the brain for learning. A manufacturing client was very quick to overreact when things were not going well. The team members were conscious of upsetting the boss, so their mode of operandi was to be too cautious in the way they did their job, which meant things were not progressing as fast as they should. This only ticked the boss off more. You can imagine the conversations and the direction of team morale. In identifying this situation, we work with the client to change the way that the teams operated. The owner delegated the task to the team and let them get on with their job. They set daily benchmarks of what needed to be completed and by when. They set daily, weekly and monthly KPIs that the team measured and were responsible for in measuring and tracking. They implemented a post-mortem meeting on the completion of each job to focus on what worked well, what didn't, and what did they need to change. The key team members were also involved with the weekly planning and scheduling meetings. The end result was that communication improved, efficiency and productivity went up, and the kicker was the owner was less stressed. And with that, team morale improved to the point where everyone was taking responsibility for their own lot. Ready to install this? Here's a 1-week plan. Day 1, draft 5 to 7 KPIs plus owners of the KPIs. Create a simple spreadsheet or a dashboard. Day 2, book weekly planning scheduling meeting, same day and time each week, plus having the retro or post-mortem cadence. Launch one-to-ones, send a 4-question agenda template. That's on day 3. Day 4, start daily huddles with the RAG and blockers, red, amber, green. Day 5, map the top 5 partnerships and schedule a value exchange call with those partnerships. Day 6, run your first 15 to 30 minute post-mortem review on a recent project. And day 7, celebrate 1 visible win and publish 3 next week commitments. If you want help installing Operating System 7 and Operating System 8 properly and fast, book a free 90-minute strategy session with me. We'll map your first KPIs, your meeting rhythms, and the exact scripts your team will use. This is Badura, turning business dreams into reality.